Hello everyone, welcome to Clarity for Sure. Today in this video we are going to discuss the important funds that is being operated by NABARD for agriculture and rural development. Okay, we will be discussing these major funds in two parts, where in part 1 we will be discussing some of the important funds that are being operated by NABARD, and in part 2 we will be discussing the remaining funds. And we will also be discussing some of the expected MCQs from these particular funds as part 3, where that video will be dedicated solely for MCQs that is based on the NABARD Grade A pattern. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started. Now, first of all, before going into this lecture, I would like to tell you the importance of these funds that is being operated by NABARD. See, we have witnessed questions from these funds for past 2 years, either in the form of the paragraph. They are giving you a paragraph and they are asking what fund it is. Okay, and there are some questions which is talking where it is talking about the fund allocation, the percentage of fund that is being allocated, and the very purpose of these funds operated by NABARD. Okay, this is one point. The second point, when we talk about the phase 2 examination, these funds becomes very important, where you can highlight these funds and the allocation given to these funds in your descriptive answer writing. For example, if there is a question related to micro irrigation, you can talk about the micro irrigation fund that is being operated by NABARD. And the third important thing is that these are the important funds that is being operated by NABARD, and hence there are possibilities, higher possibilities, where in the interview questions, in the interview you will be asked, or you will be asked about these questions, the operation of these funds, what these funds are meant to be, and the allocation, and what are the outcomes of these major funds. Okay, that is why this video becomes important from your NABARD exam point of view for all the phases, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Okay, now coming into the lecture, we will try to understand the basics of these funds that is being operated by the NABARD. First, it is we all know that NABARD focuses on the rural development, that is the agriculture and rural development in India. To achieve these rural development or agricultural development, NABARD actually operates a wide range of specialized fund, where each fund is tailored to address the critical gaps in rural infrastructure, irrigation, microfinance, agribusiness, and climate resilient practices. Okay, what are these funds target, or what are these funds designed to? See, these funds actually target financial support to the priority sectors. It also enhances or encourage inclusive and sustainable growth. The most important thing is that it strengthen the rural economy by supporting the infrastructure development in the form of irrigation, in this form of buildings, in the form of forming FPOs or value chains, so that it is a linkage between farm to fork. Okay, so the entire infrastructure is being developed by many of these funds that is being operated by NABARD. Not only infrastructure, it also focuses on the important aspects that needs for an irrigation process. For example, the micro irrigation fund, the long term development fund. These are some of the important funds that not only focuses on smaller targets but also the larger targets. Okay, so these funds not only provide concessional finance but also promotes policy based lending aligned with the national rural development priorities. So these are the important points, or these are the importance of the funds that are being operated by the NABARD for the purpose of agriculture and rural development. The first fund is the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. Okay, this fund was established in the year 1995-1996. This fund is managed by the NABARD. What is the initial corpus of this particular RIDF? It is 2000 crore. Okay, what is the source of fund? See, the source of this fund is the when a bank will we know that banks will have some targets for the priority sector lending. If the bank is not able to disperse the loan uh, based on the target that is being fixed. For example, if 2000 crore has to be given to priority sector lending, but but a particular bank has given only 1500 crore, so there are around 500 crore shortfall which has to be given for the priority sector, but that has not been achieved. So that fund is being put into this rural infrastructure development fund, okay, by the scheduled commercial banks. Okay, that is the meaning of this shortfall in priority sector lending. Okay, who are the primary beneficiaries? They are state government and state owned corporations. What is the purpose of this rural infrastructure development fund? See, this fund actually finance the rural infrastructure projects. How? By providing low cost loan to the state government and other eligible institutions, which in turn will reflect in the rural infrastructure creation by the state government or the state owned corporation. Okay, so I hope the basic of this rural infrastructure development fund and how the source of fund is being put, and what is the establishment and initial corpus of this fund is clear to you now. Now, what are the types of projects that is being financed by this particular rural infrastructure development fund? First and foremost is your agricultural and irrigation. What are all the areas focus? Minor and medium irrigation, watershed development and flood protection. Second comes your rural connectivity, rural roads and bridges. Third comes your social infrastructure, where this fund is put into use for the infrastructure development of schools, health centers and anganwadis. Okay, other sectors they focus after the tranches, or for example, if the corpus is of for example, for this year, if the corpus is for 1000 crores, all the other for example 800 crores has been allocated to other types of project, and there is a shortfall of around again that 200 crores that will be put into the other sectors like warehousing, drinking water, renewable energy and sanitation purposes. See, rural development, when we talk about rural development, you should not mistake that we are talking only about the agricultural and allied sector rural development. It also focuses on the social aspects also, social infrastructure and the well-being of that particular region. Okay, it is both the agriculture and other non-agricultural infrastructure development. Okay, that encompasses your rural infrastructure development fund. Okay, I hope the types of projects that are being financed under this rural infrastructure development fund is clear to you now. And and as I was telling about the tranches, this fund will be allocated in the form of tranches, and current is the 30th edition of for this 2024-2025. Each these tranches actually specifies some of the important points, which are corpus allocation, how much fund has to be allocated to this particular tranche, what are the sectors that are eligible to get this fund, interest rate structure and guidelines for how to disperse this fund to the state government and the state owned corporations. Okay, and who are the implementing agencies of this particular rural infrastructure development fund? As I already told you, they are state governments or union territories, state owned corporations or government undertaking, government sponsored or support organization, panchayati raj institutions, self help groups, NGOs via nodal that state department should recommend for that particular NGO, so that NGO are the implementing agencies of this rural infrastructure development fund that is being dispersed by the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, that is your NABARD. Okay. What is the source of this fund? As I already told you that the source of this fund is the shortfall in the priority sector lending. It means that when the commercial bank fails to meet the priority sector lending targets, these are mandated by the RBI to deposit this shortfall amount into the NABARD, which goes to this rural infrastructure development fund. Okay, this serves as a dual purpose. Why? Because the RBI will also have a check on how much amount has been dispersed to the priority sector lending. If the bank fails to meet that particular priority sector lending target, the banks will be penalized for not meeting that PSL norm, because priority sector lending norms are very important, and the commercial bank, the scheduled commercial bank should meet the priority sector lending, and it provides some pool of funds for rural development. because a separate allocation is not required, where this priority sector lending, most of the priority sector lending comes, the fund from this priority sector lending can be pooled for the rural development process. Okay. Now, mode of finance, see, it is on the reimbursement basis, where the 30% is provided for northeast and hilly regions and 20% for other states. That means the funds that are being given on the reimbursement basis. Okay, 30% for northeast and hilly regions and 20% for other states. Okay, and what are the important aspects of this rural infrastructure development fund? See, the quantum of loan and the borrower's contribution is that the loan will cover up to 80 to 95 percentage of the project cost based on the project or based on the sector for this for which this RIDF fund is being allocated. And if for example, if there is a cost escalation within 2 years of this sanction, the cost escalation proportion, proposals are also considered. For example, if there is a if there is a investment that is being invest in the laying of roads, rural roads. Okay, initially it was given as 5 crores, but due to some reasons, for due to some inflation or material increase in the material cost, if the budget is going to increase to 7 crores within 2 years of this initiation of this project, that cost escalation proposals will also be considered under this RIDF fund. Okay, what is the rate of interest? The rate of interest is linked to the RBI bank rate. I hope you know what a bank rate is, and it is effective from this April 1st, 2012. Okay, penal interest, it means overdue interest. I mean, if for example, if there are, because this is given as a loan only. Okay, this fund is given as on the reimbursement basis only. Okay, so if there is a sector, if there is a, for example, if a state owned corporation is not paying the interest properly, the overdue for that particular interest will also be the same rate as the principal loan interest amount only. Okay, repayment tenure, it is up to 7 years, and we have a grace period also, because for example, if there is any calamity, a natural calamity, or some kind of some kind of disturbance that is creating that is stretching the loan period, the government has given the grace period of 2 years, so it is 7 plus 2. Okay, interest rate payment, it is on quarterly basis. It is 31st March, 30th June, and 31st March, 30th September, 31st December, and 30th June. Okay, so this is the interest rate payments, which is quarterly in basis. And what is the security that is being provided by the state government or state owned corporations for this particular rural infrastructure development fund? It is the promissory note, time promissory note, unconditional state government bond or guarantee, acceptance of sanctions via signed copy. So most of them, these are given as a security for this particular rural infrastructure development fund. So if there is any question related to this rural infrastructure development from either in your phase 1, phase 2, or if there is a question related to this fund in your RBI exam also, you will be able to attend this question with ease with this particular smart art that is being provided in front of you. Okay, so this is about this rural infrastructure development fund. And what is the phasing of these project implementation period? For example, if a fund is being allocated to this particular sector, the implementation period for that particular project should be between 2 and 5 years. And we all know that duration of this varies between the type of project. For example, bridge construction and road construction will not take same time. For example, school, if a fund is going to used for the social infrastructure like schools, hospitals, that will take longer time than laying of road. So the phasing of project depends on the type of project and the location where it is being done. For example, in hilly regions, it will take much time then compared to the project that is being taking place in a plain region. Okay, I hope this RIDF, that is your rural infrastructure development fund, is clear to you now. Moving to the next fund, that is your long term irrigation fund. Okay, what is the purpose of this particular long-term irrigation fund? It is to completion, the fast track completion of 99 major and the medium irrigation project. The implementing ministry for this particular fund is Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, coverage projects across 18 states, announced in the year 2016-2017 Union Budget. Okay, now project expansion. Initially this was launched to cover 99 projects only, but later 4 projects have been added to this particular long term irrigation fund. Okay, these are the 4 projects: one in Andhra Pradesh, one in Bihar and Jharkhand, one in Rajasthan, and one in your Punjab region. Okay, and what is this long term irrigation fund? See, this long term irrigation fund is, as I already told you, this is a fund that is being given for the fast track completion of the major and minor irrigation projects. Okay, and what is the status of completion of this fund, this project? See, as of 31st of March 2024, 58 project has been completed and 16 project have been completed. Okay, totally 58 in the in the major project, and the 16 in the minor projects. Okay, what is the funding scope? See, it, as I already told you, this was announced in the year 2016 budget. From 2016 to 2021, the share was provided, the loan for this fund has been shared between the center and the state, but from 2021-2022 this loan has been provided only towards the state share. I mean, it is taken from the state share only. Okay, so there are some states that have been already utilized or availed this fund. The states such as Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Jharkhand, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Odisha, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Goa. There can be a question from these also: which of the following states have not availed the state share of loan from this long term irrigation fund? So keep a note on the states that have availed for this particular loan. Okay, what is the arrangement? See, the central share is now funded through the Government of India's budget. Okay, earlier it was given through the Water Development Authority. Now it is directly funded through the Government of India budget, through a special purpose vehicle. Okay, that is your SPV. And what is the fund validity extension? It has been extended up to 2025-2026, which includes more 60 and 85 projects as on March 2021. Okay, so the fund is operational for the year 2025 and 2026 as well. Okay, I hope this long term irrigation fund is also clear to you now. And these are the some of the important numericals which you can use in your descriptive writing, or when there's a question related to long-term infrastructure, sorry, irrigation fund, in your interview. You can just say the sanction amount. This is the sanction amount, then this is the released amount. So total sanction amount for the for this particular project is 85,790 crores, and that has been released till date is till April 2025 is 62,792 crores. Okay, I hope the long term irrigation fund and the purpose of this long term irrigation fund is also clear to you now. Coming to the next, that is your micro irrigation fund. This has been launched in the year 2019-2020. Initial corpus of this fund was 5,000 crores. See, the initial corpus of every fund has to be noted down by you guys, because there might be a question related to this, and the nodal ministry for each particular fund that is being operated by NABARD. Objective is to support states in expanding micro irrigation beyond this scheme. Okay, and the nodal ministry for this particular micro irrigation fund is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampati Yojana, Krishi Sinchai Yojana is the scheme where we talk about the micro irrigation or per drop more crop kind of thing. But this micro irrigation fund is supporting the farmers or supporting the states to expand, to invest in more micro irrigation because beyond this particular Okay, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Okay, what is the fund augmentation? The augmented by another 5,000 crore in the Union Budget 2021 and 2022 during the 15th Finance Commission period. And what is the inter-subvention? Earlier it was 3%. From October 3, 2024, the inter-subvention for this particular micro irrigation fund has been reduced to 2%. Loan sanction, the total amount of, see, the fund augmentation was 5 crores. The initial loan, sorry, 5 plus 5 10 crores, sorry, 5 plus 5 10,000 crores. Loan sanction for this particular year is 4,719 crore, whereas the amount that has been released from this particular thing is that 3,639 crore. Okay, irrigation coverage till the date of 20 till December 2024, 18 lakh hectare has been covered. The target was 20 lakhs, and the achieved, the covered range till December 2024 is 18.81 lakhs. Okay, so from this micro irrigation fund, the corpus amount is important, the launch year becomes very important, and the nodal ministry, and what is the purpose of this particular fund or the objective. Okay, I hope this is also clear to you now. Coming to the next, NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistant, that is your NIDA. Okay, this is an alternate credit line by NABARD launched in the year 2011 for rural infrastructure financing. Okay, see, RIDF is also rural infrastructure financing measure only. So what is this NIDA? See, it is to build the funding gaps beyond your RIDF limits. Okay, this is an important point. It is an alternative credit line beyond your rural infrastructure development fund limits. Who are the target beneficiaries? State government, state owned and central government owned institutions. Scope of funding, it funds your rural roads projects, irrigation, social infrastructure, communication and credit absorption. What is a loan term? Loan term for this is a project specific loan term only. It does not like you are having this much amount and that will be bifurcated amongst the project. It is not like this. Loan term facility is tailored to project specific requirement. This is the main difference between your RIDF fund and your NIDA fund. Okay, loan tenure, it is a long term. Okay, 25 years with the moratorium period of 2 to 4 years. Interest rate, floating rate benchmark by GSEC yield and annual reset. Okay, this is the basic difference between your RIDF and NIDA, where we have a loan, we have 7 plus 2 where the loan repayment period is. Here it is up to 25 years, and interest rate there it is based on the bank rate. It is the floating rate benchmarked by your government securities. Okay. And what is the term loans? We know that the customized term, because NIDA is focusing beyond your RIDF limit. So the borrowing terms will be based on the borrower's need, project nature and the risk profile. Security requirement, yes, there is a security requirement, that is the collateral that is being needed for this particular fund also based on the risk and the project type. Repayment schedule, it is the flexible and customized repayment terms aligned with the project and the borrower profile. And eligibility, support outside this RIDF ceiling limits for state government. For example, if the state is needing more fund for the rural development and the state share for that particular for a particular project has been fulfilled by RIDF, but still there is a need, so the state can look into this NIDA fund. Okay, eligibility, direct funding based on project specific risk appraisal. And application process, the state government or the state owned or the central government owned institution should submit a detailed project report with the technical and financial viability details to NABARD. Okay, so this is about this NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistant. So today we have seen 4 funds. What are they? Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, Long Term Irrigation Fund, Micro Irrigation Fund and your NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistant NEDA. I hope all these four funds are clear to you now, and all the objectives, the key points, the nodal ministry, the launch year, the corpus fund, and the purpose of that particular fund is clear to you now. So these are the four topics which we will be dealing today, and there are other funds where we will be dealing uh, in part 2 of this series. Okay, I hope the lecture was useful to you, and I hope you have gone through some of the you have got to know some of the important funds that is being operated by NABARD. So if you are looking for a good mentorship, affordable mentorship for this upcoming 2025 NABARD Grade A examination, do consider our Clarity for Sure's NABARD mentorship and test series program, where you will be getting a regular classes and sessions, which all will be live, no recorded session. It will be a live classes, and there will be a regular test, and there will also be a Q&A session. And this test this mentorship will help you from phase 1 till phase 3. Okay, so if you are looking for a good test series, do consider our test series, where the link for this particular test series will be given in the description box below. And Clarity has a distinction of giving a very good results for past 3 years, and we are here to replicate. We will replicate the same in the upcoming 2025 examination also. Okay, so this is all for this video, and this is all for today's lecture. I hope the lecture was informative and useful to you. If you have any doubts related to the lecture, or if you have any feedback related to the topics that we have discussed here, please let me know in the comment section below. I will meet you with the part 2 of this video soon. Until then, all the very best for your examination. Prepare well. Have a good day.